All right, SEALs, here we go. We're going to talk about the breakout. So let's just make sure we're all on the same page here, okay? The breakout is when we are trying to get the puck out of our zone, okay? We're going this way. We are the letters, the D, C, right wing, left wing. They are the X's, okay? We're going that way. And then once again, just so we're all on the same page, if we divide the ice in half, the side where the puck is the strong side. The side where the puck is not is the weak side, okay? And just so, again, we're all on the same page, or even more so, remember that the strong side, weak side is fluid. In this example, we're going to see that the puck goes from the strong side to the weak side. So that means now the strong side becomes the weak side, and the weak side becomes the strong side, like this. It flips, okay? Pretty sure you all know that. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. So when I start saying strong side, weak side, we're aware of what we're talking about, okay? You will also hear this discussed in different drills as F1, F2, F3, okay? But for the most part, what we're really concerned with in the breakout is the D, kind of the D1, and then this would be D2. So D1 is the kind of the player who's carrying the puck below the goal line. D2 is the weak side defenseman who's covering generally the front of the net most of the time, okay? So puck moves from this side to the other side, and you can see the left wing is going to skate their route. You're going to hear me say this phrase a lot. Skate your route. Skate your route. This is your job when you are the left wing, okay? You're standing, you're looking at this player, you're covering this player, your toes are up ice, your head is on a swivel, you're looking back this way, you're looking back that way. You look back this way and you see Brownie, who you're going to see in a minute, pick up the puck and start to skate around the goal because you're watching, you're looking, got your head on a swivel. Check him, look back here. Check him, look over here. Check him, look over here. Okay? Almost obsessively just following this pattern of watch and sag and watch and sag. And when I say sag, I mean that you're not all the way out at him, but you're kind of sagged into the middle here so that you're ready if something comes over this way into the middle of the ice and you can play defense, okay? But for the most part, you're looking the other direction. You're facing up ice and shoulder checking over your shoulders. So you see your defenseman pick up this puck. And when I say immediately, I mean that you at least immediately start to recognize that you're going to skate your route. Depending upon where they are and which direction they're going and how fast they're going, you got to think of yourself as like a wide receiver in football, okay? I don't want to go and skate my route and be way up here right as this guy is cresting the goal, right? And neither do I want to wait until he's all the way over here to then get all jammed up next to him, okay? We want to time this right. And so in the video that we're going to see, like I said, there's players over here. This player is not here. And then Brownie starts over here. So he has like a long skate to get over here, okay? And you'll see this player over here is Luke, and Luke is going to be looking, but you'll see what he ends up doing, right? So we time it up and we skate our route, and we skate what's called inside, meaning we skate from the inside of the ice to the outside of the ice, okay? We want to use our landmarks. The dot line, that's a great landmark, okay? The hash marks, those are great landmarks. The tops of the circles, the bottoms of the circles, the goal line, the blue line, right? We get all these different landmarks on the ice that it should make it easy for us to navigate the surface based on hitting certain landmarks. So we're here, we're watching this player, we're covering this player. As soon as we recognize that our player has the puck and he's starting to skate it around this way, we start to move down the dot line, okay? Now, a little point here, I did not draw this original drawing. I got this from, the internet, And I don't like the way they drew it. I don't like the way they drew the center, and I don't like the way they drew the wing, the left wing. So I'm going to go over that. It actually gives me an opportunity to discuss something a little deeper. Is that you'll see he goes like this and then pulls off the dot line and makes this turn rather abruptly, okay? I like to see you come down the dot line and don't start to make your pivot until you get close to the lower end of the circle for the most part, and then peel up the wall like this, okay? Now, it might not look like a really important thing, okay? But when it comes to creating passing angles, we're gonna see that it actually makes things easier on the passer, okay? And it also makes it so that we have more opportunities to pass. And you'll definitely see that when you see the centerman, okay? So a point of detail, we skate down the dot line, we pivot, we turn backwards now and skate up the wall, and our stick, especially if we're left-handed, which we probably are gonna set our wings that way, will be out towards the wall. Makes it really easy. I've got this rim pass, I've got this pass, okay? I've got multiple times that I can hit this player with a pass, and it's not just one go. When we see this, and it's kind of like this, and then he gets vertical, it's kind of one go at it, and it's a little tricky, and you're gonna see that even more so with the center. But either way, this guy draws it fine. We get here, and we work up the wall. Now remember, turn around backwards. This was not taught when I was a kid. When I played, we were taught that we were gonna be a left-hander on the left side, a right-hander on the right side, and because they wanted us to catch those breakout passes on our forehand, we would not turn around backwards. We would go like this and pivot, and we would hold our stick, and we would be looking over our shoulder a little bit more, okay? I don't like that, and the NHL doesn't like it anymore. And you'll see the NHL, they turn around backwards. And there's a really important reason for this. First of all, it's safer, meaning when this guy crashes down on you and tries to get you, if you have your back to him, you're already in puck protection mode. And if he does come in and blast you and hit you from behind, if you're away from the wall, you're just going to fall forward. It's not like you're going to get, really like a really bad hit. Whereas if you are looking over your shoulder and this guy comes down and hits you, that can be a bad hit. It can be a blind shot, and it's supposed to be illegal. Doesn't mean people can't do it. And a lot of times, they didn't even really mean to do it. They just stepped up to try to make a play, and you were looking over your shoulder, so you ended up not being able to prepare yourself for the check. So again, low, peel up, pivot, and turn around backwards, okay? Now, let's talk about where we want to be and when, okay? We use the hash marks, right, as our another landmark, okay? And you will hear coaches say, just get your butt right on the boards and just stand there. Okay, that makes sense, and there's some plays that we want to do that. But I want to go over the idea of skating your route, okay? And continuously skating your route. So if you get to this spot and that player has not passed you the puck, I would prefer that you don't just stand there. I would prefer that you circle back. We call this a reload, back into the center of the ice. And there's a very important reason for this, and I'll go over it in a moment, and then skate your route again based upon what's going on the play, okay? So let's say, for the sake of argument, that this is not clean. Let's say he wins it, and then an X chases him and he loses it, or he's battling for it, and you skated your route the first time and you realize, oh wait, I'm gonna have to go back and do this again. You reload into the middle to make sure you're back in defensive position into the middle of the ice in case something happens. What if he wins the puck and then this guy cuts down here, right? There's a million different things that could happen. But you're not just hanging out over here with your butt on the wall doing nothing and not covering anybody, and really covering ice that's not dangerous at all. If we think about all this, we think about how we constantly want to be reloading into the middle. And I'll go over what the centerman does as well. So let's say, again, he does that, and he's battling back here, and now he wins the puck again. And you go, and you skate your route again. And then he decides, wait a minute, I can't come out this side because there's another player coming to get me, so I'm going to come out this side, right? Well, once you realize he's not going to pass you there, and you see maybe this guy skated his route, I can head off to the races, okay? We're heading in the right direction. We're not standing still. We're keeping our momentum going. But if you go watch an NHL game where you go to the HEB Center and watch the Texas Stars play, and you sit down near the glass, or even if you sit up high and you sit and just watch one of the wings, turn on an NHL game and just watch one of the wings, you're going to see him doing this over and over and over and over again. They're not going to get frustrated. They're not going to holler. They're not going to bang their stick. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to be disciplined, and they're going to skate their route. They're going to skate, and then they're going to realize, oh, we lost the puck. I'm going to go back to playing defense on this guy again. Oh, we got the puck again? I'm going to skate my route. Oh, I got the puck now. Okay, great. Good, because I skated my route. Or they're going to skate their route, and they're going to realize, uh-oh, I lost the puck. And this guy's cutting into the middle. They lost the puck. This guy's cutting into the middle of the ice. Well, now I can go and cover him because I reloaded back into the middle of the ice. If I just stopped over here on the wall and did nothing, it doesn't matter how hard I skate. There's no way I can catch that guy before he cuts in, okay? Hockey is a chaotic game. But if we reduce the chaos by skating certain patterns in certain ways, we can really, really, really improve our play, and the puck will come to us, okay? So skate your route. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Wings, skate your route. Center, skate your route, okay? Defense has a route too, but they're a little bit different, okay? Now, I'm going to skip over the centerman, and I'm going to go to the other wing, and I want to talk about something that this author of this drew, and I want to show you something different, okay? This guy shows this wing reloading into the center, and then eventually, if he were describing this, he would say, this pass is made, then this pass is made, and then this pass is made, right? Or this pass is made across, okay? So that's why he's saying that. And he's also saying in this drawing that you're not doing anybody any good over here, and we want you just to reload into the center, okay? And while that's a good thing to do, that's a little more of an advanced technique, and I want an advanced concept. I want to try to think about this in a little bit more of a uniform way. What I want this right wing to do is to skate his or her route as well, okay? And then what you'll see is we have a mirror image of ourselves. We have a right wing coming down the dots, curling in by the bottom of the circle and working up the wall. The worst thing that can happen at this point to you as this wing is that this guy goes this way. Again, battles for the puck, maybe doesn't have it just yet, and you just reload and you do it again, okay? But remember, when you reload, you're looking, your toes are up ice, you're looking, should I, right? You turn around, got this working here, I'm looking up this way, I'm making sure this guy is not cutting into the middle of the ice to catch a pass, I'm shoulder checking, looking over my shoulder, head on a swivel, checking to make sure did we win that puck, okay? Now, the other reason that we want to do this and skate our route is because this guy, we're going to start teaching this guy to go this way and then come back this way. Well, why are we going to do that? Well, again, if we think strong side, weak side, we want to try to come out the weak side, okay? So what did we say? This is the strong side now. This is the weak side now. So yeah, he made the right decision. Let's go out the weak side. But again, let's say this player isn't here. Let's say this player is over here. Okay, get this out of there. It's kind of jumbled up. Let's say that guy is not there, but that guy's over here. Okay, and so he starts over this way and he realizes, uh-oh, I got to come back the other way. Well, once I cross this line, this now is the strong side and this is the weak side, so I want to bring it back out the weak side, okay? You never know what's going to happen in this game. You always have to be prepared, and one of the best ways to get free is to reverse the puck and move it back to the other direction that it just came from, okay? So if this guy has already turned up ice and assumed, oh, there's no way this guy's going to come back the other way, and he comes back the other way, there's nobody there to help him. You're turning up here, you got your back to him, you're skating up ice, as we call that blowing the zone. You're just blowing the zone, you're just heading out. I'm going up ice. Oh, wait, there's nobody's support. Crash, crash, and now he loses the puck right there. Bad situation, okay? So skate your route. Now, when you're the weak side, if I'm over here and I'm watching this, I don't need to skate as fast as this guy. When this guy realizes, hey, he's coming out my way, he needs to pick up some speed. And he wants to drop down here and be moving when he catches this pass. I might not need to be like that. I just might need to drift to the dot and wait for a second and figure out, is he coming back? If you realize, yeah, no, he's not coming back, well, then I can go up ice. Right? But if he does come back the other way, I want to be in position to get that puck. Okay? Hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, listen to it again, write down some questions, but I think it should make sense. Skate your route. They're mirror images of each other. Inside out, inside out. The timing of them is a little different, but that's actually kind of the easy part once you get used to skating the route. Okay. Now we're going to talk timing and we're going to talk routes with the centerman. Okay. The centerman is really the most important player in the breakout other than the puck carrier, the D1, if you will, okay? And again, it's not always a defenseman. You'll see in the video that we're going to show that it was actually the centerman who was carrying the puck. And so as we get more advanced, we'll realize that when you find yourself in a certain role, in a certain spot, you want to adopt that role, okay? So we'll see what happened with the centerman in the video. But I don't like the way he drew the centerman's route either. I didn't like the way the wing was, and I don't like the way the centerman is drawn in this one. And that might sound really, really precise, but the reason why is I want you to look at this pass right here, okay? You see how vertical, straight up ice that pass is? Really, really vertical, as opposed to this one, and certainly as opposed to that rim around the corner, okay? But this pass is a pass that is heading towards the wall. If it's caught, it's getting away from the center of the ice. It's getting out to the wall, okay? And if it's missed, it goes off the wall, and it actually might give this guy another chance to get that puck, okay? This pass, right? This pass in football is called a seam pass, right? It's the seam. It's right up in the seam between two defenders, okay? And it's very vertical. And it's really, really challenging to hit. And you'll see in the video that oftentimes this player, the centerman, or whoever's coming out of this, has their back to the play. And that's not what we want. It's very hard to catch a pass when you're not looking at it. And it's very hard to make a pass when somebody is skating directly away from you with their back to you. Okay? Neither of those are very conducive to good passing. That's why we want to turn and pivot and face them. So we're looking at them with our stick to the outside. They come around the net. If this is a left-handed guy, like it is, Brownie's left-handed in the play, and then Luke is over here, and we would have seen if he skated it. It's simple. It's left hand to right hand. It always stays along the boards. It's never out in the middle of the ice. Whereas this is straight up the middle of the ice. He misses that pass. This guy steps in and picks it up and fires it right on net, okay? It's just a dangerous, difficult pass. So all that to be said is I would draw this in a different way. The phrase that is used to describe a good centerman route is low and slow. Low. Get down to the goal line. Slow. Don't go so fast that you're ending up skating away from this guy while he's trying to pass it to you. Time it so that you're low and you're slow and you cross over and you try to curl back up. I was a little high. You try to curl back up around the dots or in between the dots and the hash mark. You can go outside the dot a little bit. It's not going to hurt us. The point is we're trying to kind of keep it down low. You can even skate into the crease. You can even go a little below the goal line a little bit like this and work up this way, okay? And the reason why is because, again, we want to give this guy the most options to pass to us. He can hit us right here, and we can make the curl with the puck. We can fire the pass over to there, right? The centerman can. He can wait as he comes up like this. He can hit him here. He can hit him here. He can even cross over like this and hit him like that, okay? When we've done this right. It opens up a lot more options than that awful vertical route that we're seeing from this, right? And so, again, if this guy drew this as a coaching, I would say this is the worst pass we can make. It's not only heading into the middle of the ice, but it's very vertical. And again, I can't emphasize enough how difficult a play that actually is, okay? So, and then the slow part is the timing of it. Even if I skate the right route, but I'm already here while he's getting around the net, that's not a very smart pass. Okay, this guy steps up and whacks me. There's all kinds of things. So I want to try to time this. I want to try to time this up so that I'm even with or even slightly below the puck. I've seen in the NHL sometimes they will go like this. This guy will come here. He'll be working around. He might stop and then start again. And this guy works around and cuts around the net. Or he works out lower like this. And this guy cuts down and cuts around like this. Okay, there's a lot of different options. And then lastly, just like how the wings are going to reload into the center, right? We want them to go skate their route and then reload if they need to help out in the middle. Remember, the centerman is our support player. So let's say this guy gets down here and I've skated a really good, nice, low and slow route, and this guy jumps him and he needs help, well, then I can cut right over. But if I've gone like this and I'm starting to blow the zone or I'm at the hash marks and he loses the puck, that's a long way to go and I'm not going to get there. So they call it attaching. I want to attach to this guy. I want to work down. I'm in a position where right here, if he needs help, I can help him. As he gets behind the net, I can get around the net and help him. And then I can skate my route. He can hit me with a pass. He can hit me with a pass. He can hit me with a pass. And I'm skating this nice, low, slow route, okay? Low and slow, okay? And there's thousands and thousands of different ways that we can go about this. You'll see in the NHL, you'll see the guy go behind the net and stop, and this guy will curl in and pick up the puck. This guy skated his route. Now he passes. And then this defenseman releases up the ice, and this guy's cutting up ice, pass, right? There's all kinds of different patterns. And some of them it is definitely free-flowing, but a lot of it is actually by design and by skating your routes, okay? So we've got inside out, low and slow, okay? And you'll see it's like a pattern. And so if this guy goes and the centerman's done it right and he gets here and he reverses, if he's come in low and slow and he goes, whoops, I guess I'm going this way. I thought I was going to the right, but he reversed and I waited, and now here I am. I can skate my route, right? I can skate my route low and slow. Does that make sense? It's always the same, but it's always different. That's the cool part about hockey. You try to be the same, and the more same that you get, the more familiar you get, the easier it gets. But also the fact that you're trying to do the same thing over and over and over again means that when things aren't exactly correct, you're actually able to adapt and take a look at what's going on, okay? Does that make sense? All right. Now, let's switch and we'll go and talk about what we see in the actual video from the game, okay? I got this queued up here. And let's see. Oh, I need to go to favorites. There we go. Okay, I got this queued up. So let me set the scene here. All right, so Brownie has the puck. He's got the puck over by that sign right there. You see that? Okay. Now, as I said in the opening here, we've got the players are mixed up because Taya and Luke are actually our defensemen, and Brownie is our centerman. Now our two wings, right, are assuming the roles of the weak side defenseman in Jack and the centerman in Eugenio. Okay, now that causes a little bit of confusion, and it's certainly a higher level of game for all five players to recognize that they're actually in different positions than they started in, okay? Luke is now the left wing, Taya's the right wing, Brownie is D1, Jack is D2, and Eugenio's centerman. So some of what we see in the confusion here is because we're not exactly sure what we're trying to do, okay? And so, but let's run it and we're going to take a look. So the first player I want to look at is Luke, who's assuming the role in this instance of the left wing, okay? And as you can see, Luke is in absolutely stone cold perfect position. And at this point, we can barely even see their strong side or their weak side defenseman in Jalen. She's sliding over. So he's got miles and miles between her or himself and the closest defender, really, that's going to make a play on him, okay? But what we're going to see that Luke does is something that I actually see a lot of players do. And he just starts drifting. He starts drifting away from the puck carrier, who's just now cresting the net, okay? And he's drifting, and he's drifting, and he's drifting. And this wouldn't be a bad pass. For Brownie to pass it to Luke right now would not be a bad pass. But Luke's not really moving, okay? And you can now see that defender is coming ever closer, although she's certainly not skating hard, okay? She's actually in a snowplow and slowing down for some reason, okay? In general, we have to be prepared for the fact that this defenseman is going to pinch, right? They're going to slide down and try to stop us from getting that pass, okay? So what you can see here is that Luke is just making her job easier, right? We started off with, let's just stop it right there. I mean, how many feet is that? How far is that? Dot to dot, basically? That's a long way, right? An NHL player is not going to be able to cover that distance very quickly, right? To maybe get to you, even, right? Unless they leave right now and they start skating. But we can see now you're a lot closer. Now you're a lot closer. And if she had skated at all with any speed, she'd have been on top of you right now. And so that wouldn't have been a good pass. But look where the referee is. That's kind of where I want you standing. Okay, we'll go back. Sorry about that. So if you had gone right now, if you were right there and you waited and waited and waited, and when Brownie got to right there, where he is right now, you were peeling up the wall with your stick right near where the referee was, you'd still have all that distance between you and that defender, right? But you would be receiving the puck while moving, and you could have plenty of room to turn and get your feet moving and make a pass. And I'll show you where that pass would be in a moment, okay? For this illustration, I'm not really going to pay a whole lot of attention to what Taya did. And that's because Taya is the defenseman, and the logical thing to do for the defenseman is to kind of slide in front of the net, okay? But I'll go back and talk about what she could have done in a moment, right, with this right here, okay? Right here, when you realize that this guy has the puck and he's heading that way, skate your route. Look where you are. You're getting near the dot. If you had skated down low and worked backwards up the wall, calling to him, saying, got your help, got your help, well, maybe he could have just stopped right here and turn and pass you the puck. Because, as you can see, none of their players are trying hard at all. None of them are skating. Every single one of them have basically their stick in one hand or their stick on their legs and their knees are straight. That's how you know they're not trying, because they're not skating. They're just standing. Look at Luke. Knees are straight, hands on his hips. Okay? Knees are straight, hands on the hips, knees straight, hands on hips, knees straight, hands on hips, knees straight, hands on hips, one hand on the stick, knees straight. Nobody's skating at you. Nobody's trying to take the puck from you. Nobody's even trying to get into position. They're just standing there, okay? So we can easily skate by them and skate away from them and get away. So Luke, you skate your route. There's no way that defenseman ever comes near you, okay? Taya, you peel back and skate your route and skate up the wall, and Aiden's just drifting into the middle of the ice. These other two guys are just drifting into the middle of the ice. Neither of them are doing anything. Brownie recognizes it, and instead of going behind the net, he just curls up the other way and snaps a pass off to you, okay? If he doesn't, you reload into the middle, you come into this area of the ice, and now you're working up ice so that if the puck comes over to Luke, he can hit you with a pass, okay? But again, I understand why a lot of these things happen, so I'm not admonishing anybody. But I just want Taya to recognize that it's okay in this instance to just drift behind the net. If you were still considering yourself a defenseman, you could also drift down low and go to the sign where Brownie just was, right? And I'll go over that with Jack here in a moment. But basically, there's no real problem with what Taya did, okay? And again, there's not a problem. I shouldn't say it that way, but I want you guys to understand that we want to just try to visualize what we're doing on the ice, okay? So, my two kind of trouble spots, if you will, the two players that kind of get this all mucked up, right, are Jack and Eugenio. And I really want you guys to pay attention to their heads, okay? And I want you to watch what happens right here. Okay, so that's the last look, right? Jack's not looking at the puck. He's not looking at the puck. He gives a quick glance over his shoulder, and he sees Brownie coming around. Eugenio's watching the puck. He watches the puck a little bit longer, and then right here, look at that. We've both lost sight of the puck. Both of you have your backs to the play, okay? And so now the problem is, just like I detailed in the thing about the centerman, which in this instance, Eugenio is technically the centerman, but for all intents and purposes, you both think you're the centerman in a way, and you both kind of make the same skate and the same route, but you turn your back to the puck carrier, okay? And when you turn your back to the puck carrier, you have no idea what he's doing, and he can't pass you the puck. Remember I talked about that vertical pass? Well, not only is the vertical pass difficult, right, but it's impossible if you're not actually looking and you don't have your stick on the ice. So he can't pass you that puck. And Eugenio might be able to receive a pass there, right, if he were looking. Jack, you're way too close to him to even pass, right? We want to think of a concept of bettering the puck. We want to make the puck better. We want to do something with it that's going to improve the condition of the puck. So passing it to Jack right here would not do that. And I would argue that passing it to Eugenio, while it would advance the puck up the ice, it's such a difficult pass that you're more than likely not going to be able to make that pass. Now, if Eugenio was skating backwards and looking at you, well, that's a fine pass, right? Straight up the ice, easy pass, stick to stick, left hand to right hand. We have no problems there, okay? So, but you're both kind of skating the wrong route. You're kind of in the wrong place, if that makes sense, okay? Now, I will give Jack 100% a pass, like a free pass on this, because this is sort of a confusing situation. You've got your centerman coming out of the zone with the puck from behind the net where a defenseman should be, and you've got your defenseman your other defenseman who should be somewhere else, right? Who is now assuming the role of the wing. So Jack's sort of like, well, what do I do here? I don't know where to go, right? I'm sort of in the way. And so what we're going to see is exactly what happens, is that Jack and Eugenio just sort of get in the way, and because there's no real movement of the puck, that defenseman in yellow gets to just sort of crash into the center, and this kid in light blue here realizes, oh, wait a minute, I can make a play. If we just look right here, as soon as Brownie comes around the net, he's not trying. He's not trying hard. He's just drifting into the middle of the ice. And even right here, he's really not trying very hard. But you can see that Brownie sort of brings the puck to him. Look at the vector, they call it. Look at the line that Brownie is on. He's coming wide around the goal. Look at all the room that he's got. He can kind of skate around the circle, but instead you'll see that he decides to cut it up in between the dots. And he actually increases his inward movement and brings the puck directly to two players who now all of a sudden go, whoa, look at that. He just brought me the puck. I can actually make a play, right? And so then Eugenio goes, I got to get the heck out of here, right? And instead of actually skating over into some open ice over there, he just sort of skates straight up the ice. And that's sort of logical, right? Like, let me get out of here and get ahead of the play and try to help. But the problem is that you don't have any idea what's going on at this point, right? And so when he does actually lose the puck right here, you're not even really aware of it, and you're already outside of the zone. And yeah, you're looking over your shoulder, but it's now going to be a difficult, stop and turn, and you can see that it takes you a little while to kind of recognize what happened, and you're thinking, well, maybe it'll still get out, and now you're up by the red line when the puck is going back into our zone, okay? And the same thing is true of Jack, which is Jack is now, again, finding himself with his back to the play, really. He doesn't realize that the puck is behind him. Now the puck has gotten behind Brownie, who gets frustrated and kind of skates away because he lost the puck, right? And so now all of a sudden, and then Luke has come out of the zone. He's really just sort of stood there and done nothing and kind of waited. And again, I'm not ripping on you guys. I'm just trying to give you an illustration of what's going on. And then we've got kind of Portea back there holding down the fort, okay? All of a sudden we get the worst thing we can possibly get, in my opinion, other than just giving it up directly in front of the net, is a play where we've got players going out of the zone. Right now, look what we've got. We've got 3 players out of the zone. One's over the red line, 2 are just over the blue line, and one's directly at the blue line, and the puck stayed in the zone, never got out. And so they've still got 2 players in the zone, and we've got a player in the middle of the ice who now has to go, uh-oh, and immediately come over and try to make a play. Now she does, probably got a little bit of a stick on that. Yep, tipped that, made a good play, and of course, we make the save, okay? But all of that happened, all of it happened right here. I'll take you back to the exact moment that this happened, okay? As Luke drifts away, Brownie made the decision not to pass to Luke. I don't know why. I would like to see that pass be made, but I would also like to see Luke skating a better route, okay? And then once that pass was made, if that pass was made to Luke, the fact that Jack is sort of in the way becomes irrelevant because he's now below the puck. The puck's already past him. And then look what we would get. So imagine, snap, that pass is made right to Luke, right on his stick. Even if Jalen crashes down on him, he's a right-handed player with his back to her. No chance she gets that puck from him. And then look at Eugenio. Whoop, look at him go. Right here, look at him go. What happens? Luke catches that pass. He protects the puck. He dishes it out across the dot, out towards the dot with a soft little pass. And look what we have. Oh, my Lord. Forget about driving a Mack truck. Let's drive 3 Mack trucks through that gap between those 2 defensemen. Good Lord. That's the most inviting thing. I just told you guys were in perfect position to get this puck out, and not only get this puck out, turn it into a massive transitional play where I'd be willing to bet we get a 1-on-0. At best, this defenseman's going to try to slide over and tie you up. At worst, they don't even touch you. You come out of that zone, you pick up the puck around your blue line, and you're gone. Look at all that ice. Look at where everybody is. 1, 2, 3, 4 players are on the far side of the ice, or were like the middle of the ice or the far side. They've got 1 player 5 feet off the boards, and we're off to the races. Okay? So, the moral to the story is, again, I'm not going to harp too much on Jack because this was just an odd spot. I would prefer at this point, once you're in this position, to just stop and stand still and just hang out right there. Or bust your butt and get all the way down here below the goal line over there to give him a pass. But again, that's pretty advanced, okay? At this point, I would like to see Eugenio skate low and slow. Time it up, curl down all the way down to the blue paint, curl down, and then come back up and be over kind of where Luke is or around the dot when he gets around the net, when he crests the net. Right now, if you were curling and you were already looking up ice at him and Luke were over by the referee, we'd have those 2 options. And again, where Jack is would be sort of irrelevant, especially if he stopped, okay? And then you can make that pass to Eugenio, or in this instance, just hit that pass right now. Don't think about it. Look, I can see you looking. You're looking right at him. Now, maybe you saw Jalen and you thought, she could come and get him, but look at her. She's not doing anything. She's just drifting. She's not skating hard. It's not like she's bearing down on Luke and she's going to go and crush him if he gets this puck. Pass it. See it, pass it. See it, pass it. Okay? Does that make sense? Again, not admonishing anybody. I'm using everybody as an illustration of what we want to try and do. Okay? Does that make sense? Let me, real quick, I want to go back to this image and I want to talk about what the weak side defenseman might do in this instance. Okay? So in the video, this was Eugenio and this was Jack. Okay? Now, it's a little awkward because Brownie came from all the way over here and went around the net, okay? And then he kind of curled up like this, and he brought it into the middle of the ice, and he kind of went like this and lost it right there, okay? So, if we think about where this player was, let's say this started right where this shows, closer to the post, and picked it up, okay? Again, it's not the worst thing in the world for you to just stand there and cover the middle of the ice. But I don't really like covering ice. I think it's useless, and we want to use all 5 players to try to break the puck out. So we're going to assume that, in the video, this guy wasn't there, but let's just say he chases, right? So he's going to follow this D1 over here. He's going to chase him over here. What I would like to see this defenseman get in the habit of doing, or the player that finds themselves in this position, is slide over here. And when I say slide, I mean skate quickly. Move over there quickly and do it facing the play. So you would be skating backwards like this, watching the play, okay? And when you get to this spot, you stop. You're trying to get into a position where, should this player get tied up, they can pass the puck over to you, okay? I know as a defenseman, it's easy to think to yourself, hey, I really need to cover the front of the net in case something happens. And that is true. But if we have our centerman reloading, right, we should be okay. And we really want to give an outlet pass for that, okay? We want to give an outlet pass. So what can also happen is, let's say for the sake of argument, we forget about all this, that this defenseman is not skating. And let's say this defenseman wins the puck right here. There's a puck battle between X and your defenseman here. So this guy's actually over here, right? Puck is right there. Immediately once your player wins the puck, okay? Your player wins the puck right here. You want to go like this immediately and drop down over there because we want to try to get that puck across. This guy skates his route, centerman skates his route, and we're off to the races. Okay? So, again, I want to reiterate for maybe the third time. There's no shame or there's no problem with Jack not recognizing that at that moment. That would be a very high-level play at this point to figure out, oh, wait a minute, I'm the weak side defenseman in this configuration because both of my defensemen are wings now. And for Eugenio to figure out, oh, wait a minute, I'm no longer a wing, I'm a centerman because our centerman is actually a defenseman now. That's high-level stuff. But I hope you guys can see it's not about necessarily who you were at the face-off. It's where you find yourself in the ice or on the ice, okay? In the configuration, where do you find yourself, okay? And we'll go over that more, and I don't expect you to get to anybody to get that right, that part of it right. But what I do expect is that when everything is normal in terms of positioning, right, that we have, I'm going to skate my route inside out, I'm going to skate my route inside out, I'm going to skate low and slow, and I'm going to release to the far side corner to support. And while that doesn't seem like support, I'm not close support. I'm not like the centerman. I'm not a really close support player. What I am is a reversal player, and I'm also a player that helps support as the defenseman, the weak side defenseman here in a little two-man game. And we can sit here and pass this puck back and forth 2 or 3 times below our goal line and make them chase us because they're not going to score from right here. It's not going to happen, okay? So I hope all that makes sense. There's a lot. Again, I've been kind of fire hosing everything, trying to focus on things that I think need to get worked out. And I encourage you to go back through Live Barn. There's tons of other plays in there that you could probably watch with this through this lens and go, look at that guy. He didn't skate his route at all. Oh, wow, that guy did skate his route. And look, we actually made that pass, okay? Or the defenseman picked up the puck, didn't look, nobody was skating their route, and they just rimmed the puck around to nobody, and it went right to their defenseman, okay? All kinds of plays that are made up there that you can see there, right? And if you pull up the Live Barn and just watch through it and pick them out, it's real easy to see, okay? Feel free to email me, and we'll talk a little more on Friday if we have any questions. Thanks.